Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. For many, many years in this time space, you heard Bill Bennett, the former Secretary of Education, former National Drug Czar, and the author of this book, The Book of Virtues, which came out 30 years ago. Well, Bill Bennett gets up once in a while, very, very early in the morning. He retired from this slot because he didn't want to do it anymore, and he agreed to come on and talk about the Book of Virtues. And Bill, welcome back, Mr. Secretary. I almost lost my copy to my 10-year-old granddaughter, who, she reads it at like a 15th grade level, and she tried to sneak it out of the house when she was here at Thanksgiving, but I got it back from her. Congratulations to you and Elaine Bennett for getting out the 30th anniversary edition. I can't believe you keep working. When are you going to stop working?
Well, I get up late now. I get up 5:30. When are you up? 3:30?
No, 4:30. I sleep in. I if I had a producer, I could even sleep in later. But you had a producer, so tell us about the 30th anniversary of the Book of Virtue. What is new about this other than it's beautiful?
Well, it's news stories. A lot of news stories. About 35-40% news stories, which we've come across, which readers have suggested. Events which have taken place. For example, we got a story about Rick Rescorla. I don't know if you remember Rick. Yeah,
yes.
Escorted all those people out of the building there at 9/11. Saved I don't know how many hundreds of lives, and that's in the Courage chapter. So we've updated the chapters with new material, new stuff, but realized 30 years later it's a new generation. So young people who might have had this book read to them are now parents. Well, I got a new book for them. When they can do this work. And I guess just to put it straightforwardly, we wrote it then because we thought schools maybe weren't doing their jobs, and family formation was a problem in a lot of parts of the country. And that situation has gotten worse.
Secretary Bennett, I was with Larry Arnn on Wednesday night. They did their teletown hall on charter school. This is the golden age for what you worked for many years. The renaissance of education is underway in Arizona and West Virginia, and I hope every curriculum of all these new charter schools and all these new backpack bill funded schools includes the Book of Virtues 30th anniversary edition.
Yeah, well, one would hope. One would hope. I certainly think so. That was our expectation. Of course, I got Elaine Bennett in on this, and you remember Elaine, you once recommended her for the Senate.
Yes, I did.
I believe in North Carolina, based on her.
I don't think she's talked to me since.
No, her sister called up and said, don't do it. But we hope this is a resource, a valuable resource for parents, for grandparents, and, of course, Christmas season. Going to buy a book. We hope people would take a look at this book. It's a beautiful book, and we're hopeful that people will look at it.
The advantage of this edition over the original, I've got both, is that it's done on different paper and it's actually easier to read.
I think it is. Yeah, no, it's the spacing, the print. We've cut some material so there's more room to read, but also the addition of the new material, I think, makes it worthwhile as an investment. Yeah, no, it's a good presentation they did, and we're grateful for it. Under the Christmas tree, we think this is a good one. Book of Virtues 30th.
Now, Bill, people want to know, what are you doing? You do the podcast. I see you on Fox News all the time. You're mostly in North Carolina. Occasionally you're in the Beltway. Obviously, you've written 25 books, and you had a marriage. Your Marine got married. I didn't know Joe got married, and I'm glad to hear it. But the Book of Virtues, where do you find the time, and what are you doing with the rest of your day?
Well, I'm working on a history curriculum for 9th grade and 11th grade students all around the country. If you don't like what's going on, come up with an alternative. So I'm working on that. It's a comprehensive U.S. history program, and we're hopeful that'll be in the schools. I'm also working on reading. It's the fundamental thing. If you're not reading fluently by the 3rd grade, your life chances are diminished. So I'm doing some work on reading and helping schools and school system. A, recognize the problem, B, find some good solutions to it. We lost a lot of ground during COVID.
I was wondering, if you had been Secretary of Education, do you think you would have seen the disaster unfolding? I don't want to blame anyone for not recognizing the obvious, but it was a disaster. I don't know how we're going to get out of that. I don't know how we're going to reclaim those years. Luckily, my grandchildren were in England, where the schools stayed open. Did you see it happening?
We saw it happening. I wrote a series of editorials back in 20 about it. immediately, I can't say I would have done anything different because we didn't know. We didn't know what the heck we were dealing with. But once we got a sense of it, I think we could have done like Governor DeSantis did and opened those schools back up. If I had been secretary, I hope I would have done that. I think I would have done that.
The Book of Virtues certainly would have been help to every homeschooler, and it wasn't widely available then because it hadn't been out in the new edition yet, but it is now under the Christmas tree. Go get the 30th anniversary edition. Don't buy the used one. I love the original. I read the original. I've got it marked up, but this one's easier to read. This is just easier to read.
Easier to read. You know, we invoked you at Thanksgiving because Mrs. Bennett read her rules of the table.
Oh, yes.
Which you did for my Marine son when you were entertaining him when he was out at Pendleton.
You know, the next Marine we had was Arthur Brooks' son when he came through Pendleton. I love when the Marines from they eat everything in the house. But tell Joe, congratulations on your new daughter-in-law, best wishes. But most importantly, America, go out and get the Book of Virtues. Don't let it get away from you this Christmas. It is the perfect Christmas present, whether you're a parent, a brother, an uncle, a grandparent. The Book of Virtues, 30th anniversary edition. Get the new one, not the old one. Secretary Bennett, thank you. My best to Elaine and all the Bennetts. Don't go anywhere, America.